So glad seeing my next guest back in the cage August 6th. She's going to be taking on Cory McKenna. It's Miranda Granger, Danger Granger. I got that mixed up there. Miranda, how are you?
Good. It's been a while.
It has. Good to see you back. Just first and foremost, I mean, it's, pretty well documented. Obviously, you became a mom. I know we've talked since then, but how different has camp been going into this fight, just with the fact that you are a mom now? We see everything on social media. Your daughter's with you everywhere. How cool is that?
It's really cool. And honestly, it's been the best camp of my life. I think it's because it's had to be so focused and I've had to be so in it when I am training. I don't have as much time to spend at the gym. I don't have as much time to dedicate to being at the gym and training all day long. So when I am at the gym or when I am doing my training sessions, it's way more focused. It's way more intense. And mentally, I'm just in such a different place. Just with having a daughter, it just puts a perspective on things that it really does change everything. And I feel really good.
Was this the right amount of time off? I know, obviously, you don't want to rush too far back, after having a pregnancy. But was this ideal timing for you, or were you looking to get in there a little bit sooner?
No, I think this is ideal. I mean, when I first got pregnant, I was like, I'll be fighting in 3 months, and then my body said something else, and they offered me a fight in April, and I just was not ready. Physically was not ready, mentally was not ready. I think I needed this whole year to just mostly physical, but also very mentally. I mean, now Austin's at the age where she's just independent. She's okay being alone. She's okay when I leave her. But, back when I first had her, it's all mom all the time. And I loved it. So I wasn't ready to give that up yet. And I think just waiting, it gave me the ability to really recover, really rehab, and then really attack a hard camp.
Do you know who they offered you for that fight? Obviously, they're not going to get in trouble because you were the one who said, hey, I need some more time off. Do you remember who they offered you?
I don't remember, but I looked at the card, and that was the card. Kay Hansen fought a new girl from
Jasmine Jazavidius. I know Jazz because she's from Canada. Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so okay. I think it was one of them, I would assume, just because that was the card that they offered me, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And did you I don't know if you pay attention to this or not, but did you look at someone like Mackenzie Dern, for example, who also gave birth and then maybe did come back a little too soon? Was that on your mind as well in that decision?
Yeah, totally. I obviously tried to look at all the moms, especially in the UFC or that are fighters, see how long they waited. But I also tried to not compare myself to other people. I had to let that ego go a little bit. That was probably the hardest part for me, but it also made my journey way easier as far as recovery and the road to where I'm at now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good opponent here in Cory McKenna, 6-2 record. What do you know about her? How do you feel like you match up against her here?
I feel like I match up really good. What I know about Cory is that she's just pretty good everywhere. I think she's more of a wrestler. I've been working on my wrestling a lot this camp since I gave birth, basically. Just really in there working on my wrestling, because that's what I've struggled with my last couple fights. But yeah, Cory's good everywhere. I'm excited for this matchup. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't see huge weaknesses or holes in her game. So I'm excited to try to expose them when I see them in the cage.
Business as usual for camp. Anything different? Who'd you mainly get a chance to work with this time around?
I actually did do a little bit different. AMC is run by Matt Hume, who
of course, Demetrius Johnson. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we've done a little cross training with them. I've been going back and forth to Idaho. My strength and conditioning coach, Brianna Battles, is there. She was my coach all through my pregnancy and now all through this. So I've been working with her a lot. Going to the PI, working with the team at the PI, and then of course Charlie, who my ride or die I've been with forever, and Bilal Hassan, he's a new guy at our gym, and he's just tearing up the amateur scene right now. He's been my main training partner, and he'll be there for my fight. So it's been a really good camp.
Good to hear. Did you work with anyone specifically in Vegas, or was it just hanging out at the PI and kind of doing your own thing?
Just kind of hanging out at the PI. I brought Bilal with me down there. We trained mostly just for PT, and then Becky Summers is the strength and conditioning coach down there, and her and Bree have kind of been working back and forth with things to just get me ready. So just checking in with them, making sure everything looks good.
And I know we talked about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Go for it.
I was just saying, I've been working with the Icon Meals, the nutrition team. So they
awesome.
set me up with this whole camp. So yeah, they've basically given me all my meals. So I feel way better than I've ever felt in any camp as far as that goes too.
Okay, well, that's good. I was going to ask, I know you said you don't compare yourself to other fighters, but I know one of the things Mackenzie Dern told me when she came back was that the weight cut was easier for her for whatever reason. Is that the case with you, or has it been kind of the same what you're used to? Because I know you do cut a lot of weight.
Yeah, I'm right on track for where I'm always at. So we'll see when it actually gets time to cutting what it's going to feel like. My physical like shape, like how I look is so much better than it's ever looked. And I think it's due to like Bree's strength and conditioning program. I've never really had a structured weightlifting strength and conditioning program. So like just seeing some muscles on me like 6 to 8 weeks out, I'm like, who am I? But I definitely feel way better than I've ever felt.
Imagine Charlie will be in your corner. Who else is going to be in the cage? You do Bilal as well, I think you said?
Yeah, and then Caden will also be in my corner, my husband.
Got to have the husband in there, right? Who knows you better than anyone? That's interesting because some people I know don't like that, and then you have someone like Sam Alvey, I know, has his wife in his corner. I think Courtney Casey has Jakar Close. So I guess for you it really works to have that familiarity, right?
Yeah, and just Caden is able to like turn off that husband switch. We're both kind of able to turn that off, and he's able to turn on like coach, and just sometimes you just need that like real support. Not that Charlie's not that. Obviously Charlie's been with me my whole life, but it's just nice to have someone like, I don't know, back there backstage when the nerves are high, just to kind of like regroup a little bit. And he encourages me more than anyone, and he's been my biggest support, especially with the kid. I mean, he just goes above and beyond, so I can't imagine having anyone else but him.
How's this fight playing out on August 6th? How do you see it going down?
I actually see, I mean, I'd love a finish. I really would love a finish, but with Cory's style, she's so tough. She moves forward. She can take a hit. I can take a hit. I see it maybe possibly going the distance, but being an absolute war. But I definitely think that my style of fighting will overcome, and I see my hand being raised.
Is this the last fight in your contract? Like what's the status with that right now?
Yeah, it's the last fight on my contract. I know I need to win. I mean, I'm coming off a couple losses. So,
well, granted, looking back on one of those losses, let's be honest here. That Amanda Lemos has been on a tear. Even her losing to Andrade, she looked really good early on in that one. So I know losses suck, but still, that's one that's aged very well, I would say.
Yeah, I think I got out of that one better than some other people have gotten out of the cage with her. But I think the Ashley Yoder fight, I was not fighting like myself at all. I think I fully lost that fight for myself. And I'm, not making excuses or anything, but it was very weird. The COVID times of being in like an empty Apex, walking out with everyone had masks on. It was just a weird experience. And I think I just didn't have that like energy level that I need to get out of bad positions that I was in. And I let myself settle too much. So I fully lost that fight for myself, in my opinion. Nothing against Ashley. She's a great fighter. I just think that I could have definitely won that one. And I'm ready to show why I'm in the UFC and why I got here against Cory.
Yeah, I love it. The stakes are really high here. And also that Lemos fight, if I'm not mistaken, that was the fight you had the blood clots, right?
I had blood clots. I took that fight on like 3 weeks notice, and it was in South Korea. So,
yeah, the triple threat. It's too many forces working against you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wanted to bring that up because I think people forget that happened, and that was pretty serious. Like I remember you telling me the story of being on the plane and all the crazy stuff that happened there, which is nuts. A couple fun questions before we get out of here. I don't know if I'm sure you saw it. At the time we're recording this, we have UFC London on Saturday. Barstool sponsors 2 fighters now, Patty Pimblett and Molly McCann. When's the Miranda Granger sponsorship happening? Because you're a big fan of them.
Yeah, I got to do some more pizza reviews or something, get on Dave's radar, but that is, I mean, if you're going to sponsor 2 fighters, those are 2 pretty great fighters to sponsor, but I would be so down for a Barstool. I think I just need to do more like pizza reviews and get on Dave's in good graces. You got a post-fight interview. You got to do a call out or something, which would be great. By the way, have you heard the new like Call Her Daddy podcast that they have on Barstool now? Have you seen it? It's called, I think, Mean Girls. Have you heard it yet? No, I haven't. Okay, just check it out. It's pretty good, actually. I'm a fan, so I'll just leave it at that. And I got to ask, how was your sister's bachelorette party? I did see on Instagram. Obviously, you're in the middle of camp, but how is it being like the sober one? It was fun. It was funny because they'd be all taking shots. I don't know if you saw the picture I posted. I have like my little like icon meal. Of, like, I did. Yeah, it was funny. Broccoli and drinking water. But it was nice because I am so protective. I was able to kind of like corral them, make sure everyone was good, make sure everyone was safe. And then I played like videographer and took all the pictures. So I was like weaving in and out of the crowd, bringing them drinks so they could stay in the middle of the stage, just like doing that whole thing, making them food, making sure they take naps. I was basically on mom duty, but it was amazing. It was fun.
Did anyone recognize you being a fighter? Because I know you haven't fought in a while, so to assume that maybe people didn't recognize you.
No, but there were like a couple people that came up. I mean, the tattoos are always like something that people always talk about. And then they ask, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, and I kind of have to like read the situation. Do I really want to talk about this or do I not want to talk about this? But
yeah.
And it's also like, I didn't want anything to be about me that weekend. It's about my sister. So just wanted to like lay a little low.
Yeah. And just last one, imagine you want to get one more fight in this year if all goes well. I know you got to worry about the contract, but still, would that be the ideal situation?
Yeah, I'd love to get another fight in, and then going into the next year. I mean, reality is like I want to have more kids, and if I'm gonna have another kid, I probably won't go back to fighting because I'll be older. So like I want to make a run these next few years, probably 3 years, and see where I'm at and see what I'm doing and hopefully make a name for myself in the sport in that time. But, being a mom has opened my eyes to so much more and so much more of like life where like I used to just identify as a fighter, this is who I am to the core. And now, I mean, you have kids, it just like becomes so different where
change everything, honestly. Yeah. I completely, like you're literally speaking my language because my even like what I'm doing here, like my career and stuff is totally changed with having kids now because you prioritize things differently, right? And I'm sure it's the same way where it's like, I don't want to miss these moments, so it's super important. So I totally get you there. And sorry to interrupt. And I do got to mention this. So I told you off air, I just interviewed Valentina Shevchenko before we hopped on here. Valentina loves Washington State. I pitched a UFC Seattle card and she's on board. So how cool would that be if they could come to Seattle? Because they got the new arena for the hockey team.
I know. I really think it's happening. I thought it was supposed to happen last summer. They said there were like some kind of talks about like the Key Arena. I don't know if it's still called the Key Arena or what it's called now, but they had talked about it and I was like, come on. And then it never happened. So I'm hoping, I would hope that I would get on that card because I'm in Washington, but that would be pretty sweet.
I agree. Miranda, thanks so much for doing this. I know you got places to be, people to see. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I'd like to thank a big sponsor for this fight has been Fuel Hunt. They're a clothing company. They're selling t-shirts for my fight coming up August 6th. And then Brianna Battles with postpartum pregnancy athleticism. I mean, I can't thank her enough. She's basically got me to this point and I wouldn't be here without her. And then my team, Charlie's Combat Club, my husband, Caden, and my family for just nonstop support. And of course, my daughter, Austin, who I am excited to bring into the cage after I win.